Welcome everyone to the SuperCoach Hub BBL pod. Tonight you're on with myself, SuperCoach Guns. We've got the dual champion himself, Andrew Langley, and we also have Myth. How are we tonight, gentlemen? Guns, how are you firstly, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm settling in watching Matthew Short pummel Jason Behrendorff for run after run after run as he just hits a 4 and goes past 20 in front of me. I'm loving life.
That's fantastic for captainers, but yeah, not the best for everybody else that didn't go in. Andrew, how are you tonight, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm enjoying watching Short go well because the rest of my team's not going so well this round, so he might single-handedly carry me over the line.
Well, I was going to say, if it's anyone that knows how to come home strong, it's definitely you. But as I said before, you might be very esteemed in the fantasy circles, but you come in second place when it comes to the beard competition tonight, my friend. Myth, how are you tonight, mate? How are you going?
I'm probably the opposite to these boys after watching my bowler Dorf have Matt Short dropped off his first ball. So the swings and roundabouts of BBL Supercoach, eh?
Oh, goodness. There's nothing worse than that. Nothing worse. No, it's wonderful to have all our greetings done. But as usual, make sure if you're tuning in tonight, make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Gun Show that's actually hosted by one of our guests tonight, SuperCoach Guns. Fantastic to have on in the morning. It's just content, information, data. That's all you need. There's two guests this week with him. We've got SuperCoach with DR, who does some amazing content. And I'm sure if you're on X, you definitely would have seen him around the traps. Does some amazing stuff with AFL. And he's fairly handy with BBL as well. He's also got one of our previous guests, one of the best videographers. I know that's a hard word to say. One of the best videographers in the world, Damon Jackman, who is actually from Supercoach Edge. He has joined us before, but he is fantastic to have on as well. A wealth of knowledge there. But let's get to this week's BBL chat. What are we thinking so far, gents? How's our round gone so far? Has it been fantastic, or are we, almost up shit creek a little bit, or are we just hanging on? Guns, how are you looking at the moment, mate?
I think I'm in the. It depends a lot on how tonight goes. So,
Yep.
unsurprisingly, so Matt Short, everything pretty much hinges on him. If he doesn't get 40 to 60 runs with a bat, I'm probably looking at lesser a lesser score, around par for the whole competition, maybe. But if he keeps going on with the way he is, then yeah, I think I'll go up the ranks. I think I'm doing okay. I think the captaincy was a big thing this round, and it could, yeah, it'll split the. I don't know what the word is now. I've lost it. Had too much to drink.
That's all right,
mate. Yeah.
It's going to split. It's hard. I think a lot of people are either going to be extremely happy or extremely pissed off, because I reckon there would have been a lot of to and froing from a select group of players. Andrew, how are you going this round, mate?
I was just having a look at my leagues. I know I'm in a lot of leagues, but I can only see 10.
Yes.
I'm cut live. I'm on 923, and looking at it, I'm sort of in the bottom 2 or 3 scores in each of the leagues I'm in. So I can see a 1240. So he's absolutely killing me. Yeah.
Oh, that's
we'll
a
see how it
score.
ends.
Yeah, absolutely. Myth, how are you travelling this round, mate? You just said before that Richo just dropped Matt Short off one of your bowlers in Behrendorff. I can't imagine that would be very nice to see or have to sit through.
I mean, I reckon that's a pretty good metaphor for my round, to be honest.
Ooh,
set it up pretty well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
I went in with a pretty simple strategy this round. I wanted to make a big run for it, so went for an Overton captain, had the 2 opening bowlers for Perth, hoping that they might get Short early. Overton maybe in early, 4 opportunities, but hasn't to be so far. Would love him to, if he can come in and get a quick 20 at the end, it would make my round a whole lot better.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Myself, I basically same set up as you, Myth. It's just annoying at this stage because I've got 10 players playing in the current game. So there's a lot riding on it. And I can't believe I'm saying it. I didn't captain Matt Short. I just thought Perth bowlers would be, if they're not going to rip through, they tie everything down. But apparently that hasn't been the case. I know they did win the other night, but it seems that they're just bowling absolute pies at the moment. Doesn't seem to be having the same effect that they've had in the past. And just reading here, there are some technical difficulties, so we'll try and push through that as much as we can, but I do apologise to everyone watching and listening later on. Who do we have currently? Did we load up big for the double for Adelaide and Scorchers, or did we I guess, see that they're playing each other twice and try to stray away from it and maybe pick up some Hurricanes players and Heat players in anticipation for next week? How did you go, Guns? What was your strategy leading into the week, mate?
I didn't want to overload too much on Perth and Adelaide just because they played each other twice. So I went in with 5 Scorchers and 3 Heat, but then all of a sudden Sam Whiteman got named. So I went with 4 Scorchers and 3 Heat, and then all of a sudden Whiteman got named, so I went in with 5. So I'd planned for 7, but I got 8. So I rolled with that. Went very batter heavy, and that's not a strategy that's really worked out in the end. But then again, the bowling hasn't been fantastic. I don't know. It's Lance Morris and the strikers bowlers that have done well, really well so far this round, outside of Laurie Evans and Matt Short.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just, it was tricky. It was tricky, wasn't it? We'll have a collective chat after we've heard everyone's insights. Andrew, who did you, I guess, target or identify as the players you wanted for this round, or did you see that they were playing each other twice and just think I might back off a little bit and maybe go harder a little bit later on in the coming rounds?
Yeah, it's tough. I decided to go for 11 doubles next round as opposed to this round just because they were playing each other. But, I'm still picked 9 players on the double this round. It's not like I went really light. It's just I chose to go a bit heavier next round.
Yep. No, completely understandable. Completely understandable. What about you, Myth? How did you, I guess, come up with your team this week, mate?
I went pretty hard on it. I think I ended up with 9, but I ended up having Darcy as an emergency, which now looks to have been a poor decision as he cracks 20.
That's wonderful.
Didn't anticipate him getting through either power play, but that's how it's gone. Misread it this week, but 9. I think I'm pretty well set up for next week as well. Should be able to get to 11 if I want to, but I think that's going to be an interesting decision with Maxwell and Matt Short on the singles.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I like to call it 9, but plus Cooper Connolly, because I was looping him. I was a little bit worried if he'd play tonight. I was very fortunate. With 2 minutes to go, I had a late change of heart basically and traded out Nathan Ellis and moved him to Lance Morris. So that was fantastic. But I basically had the entire top order of Perth, all the bowlers except Berendorf, not Laurie Evans, of course, because that's just, I don't know how you pick him unless you're short on funds, but that must just be pulling a rabbit out of the hat. Did we all think, and I just think this is an assumption from myself, did we all think Perth would just walk it in and their bowlers would just go to town on this lineup? Guns, is that a fair statement, mate? Or are you? That's just what I thought. But yeah, what was your thoughts?
Well, I looked at it and I saw that both tracks are pretty batter's paradise, particularly Adelaide. So I saw it being both these games pretty high scoring games, and it didn't really pan out that way in the end. It did in the first innings, but I'm not sure whose audio.
Someone's audio is a little bit off there.
No, mine. Okay, yes. Might have been Andrew's. Okay, I'll just repeat that. I went with I went for a batter strategy. I thought that it'd be mainly a road for both games. Perth had been going for not Perth. It'd been a lot of runs at Adelaide Oval, and Perth was looking like a decent batting deck too. So I thought,
Absolutely great.
I thought that it'd be a batter's deck, but no, I didn't really expect the bowlers to. I thought the bowlers played how they've roughly panned out, barring Morris taking Pfeiffer in the last game. I thought he might take one or two, and honestly, I thought Andrew Tye would have taken more, and I was scared not to own him.
Yeah, I had a look at the death overs and thought that Tye would basically just clean up, but it didn't really eventuate. It didn't eventuate, and I guess in hindsight now, it's a lot easier to say in hindsight. I was completely wrong on this. Myth, what did you think, mate? Did you come into the round with, I guess, any existing bias at all, or were you just thinking anything can happen at any given time?
I probably expected the Scorchers bowlers to do a little bit, at least in the second game. First game, them cleaning up towards the end. Definitely saw that as a possibility. Scorchers put runs on the board. Strikers at the end need a hit to get there and fall short when we know there's going to be wickets on offer. But they haven't really batted that well tonight, the Scorchers, and that's going to limit that possibility here and now.
Yeah, no, I complete Guns. You're dying to say something. What is it?
Darcy Short just got out to Lance Morris.
Yes. Who? How? Give us some
Caught
info.
by Laurie Evans.
Oh, that's disgusting. So he's just added another 10 points to his already 400 that nobody's picked. That's terrible. But wild thing, I'll take that. That's fantastic. We love that. Kind of makes up for the C on Hardy, which, I mean, he looked good, but obviously looking good. You can still, shit the bed. Andrew, how's your audio going, mate?
Yeah, I'm really struggling, but I can hear you now. It seems to be dropping.
Yeah, I was just saying, has this round, and not just the Perth Adelaide doublers, has it worked out how you thought, mate? Or has there been, I guess, some road bumps in the way, some droppings here and there, or do you think you were pretty much on top of it?
I didn't quite catch that. You're asking about how this round's going, is that?
Yeah, I was just saying, asking, has it gone how, I guess, you pictured it to be?
I'm having real connection issues. Sorry, guys.
No, that's all right. I think. No, that's all right. That's all right. No worries at all. We might just move forward on that one, unfortunately. But yeah, I think is there, besides the Perth and the Scorchers doublers, did we have anyone from any other games really? Because looking at my team, I didn't. I only had Hurricanes players really. Did anybody have anyone different? What about you, Guns? Anything or?
Yeah, I looped in Josh Philippi, which says a lot about the state of my team. I didn't really want to play Nikhil Chowdhury. I get he bowled 4 overs. I didn't think he'd do it again, and he didn't in the end. He was very fortunate to take the wicket, or else I would have had a 2 on field. Even 22 is not great. So I played Chowdhury, I played Philippi, I played Sutherland. So some middling scores there outside of my doubles.
Yeah. No, completely understand that. Myth, did you maybe have a tall Paul in there somewhere? What? Oh, of course he did. Yeah, that smile says it. No, he didn't. Jeez, you got a good poker face. I'll give you that. No
tall Paul. My round, like I said at the start, that metaphor, the dropped catch off my bowler for the big captain that I'm anti-potting really sums up my round. I think didn't loop in Darcy Short, expected to get out cheaply again tonight. Didn't loop in Bartlett after he scored 37 and took Chief, who then again came in too late. Just those middle order renegades just keep slowly batting, and then he comes in far too late to do any damage, unfortunately. So him, Chowdhury, and McDermott on field for me. That Marvel deck was just flipped, right? Like it's been a bad, and it was just so awful. Can't predict that, but yeah, a few average scores on my field this week with the doubles as well.
Oh, that's yeah. No, I completely concur about that deck. Like I've I guess I'm completely off him. Like, I just don't. I know he's talented, but I'm really I don't know why people aren't talking about Jack Edwards. He's been so much better than Will Sutherland. I don't know. I can understand he's a young captain and whatnot. It's just he either doesn't believe in himself, or they clearly don't rate him as highly as what everyone, I guess, in the Supercoach community rates him, because he's just he's coming in past John O'Wells. He's coming in past Maddo when he's picked. The other night he didn't bowl. He admitted himself that he got it wrong, but yet you're the captain. Like, I don't understand that at all. It's just yeah, I think the first game week where he really popped, and I think he scored 155. That was fantastic. But ever since then, he's been fairly crap, honestly. And and obviously I'm Victorian, and he plays for Victoria, so you're going to hear a lot about him. But not based on Supercoach. If you're looking at stats and playing roles, Jack Edwards has done so much more than him. He's really come along leaps and bounds, and it's so interesting to hear, like, where did he even get the nickname the Chief from? Because at the moment he's just a chief of a pack of Deros, isn't he? Like, the Gades are the worst side in the comp. They are shocking, and I just don't understand like what they're doing for him or what they're doing to his confidence, because nothing's going right and they're not backing him. But yeah, he's the one captaining the Renegades, and I'm sitting here talking absolute crap. So that says a lot about where we both are. Unfortunately, Andrew's internet isn't the best, which is annoying. But we are up to, well, this is my favourite segment, where we have 4 categories, and I'm sure, Guns, you've heard about this. Myth, you're accustomed to it. And then we're going to read some of these comments because, oh, Jesus, maybe we won't read a few of them. Seems I'm getting harassed online, that's fantastic. That's all fun and games. No worries about that. But we'll move to our categories, and I'm not sure if you know this, Guns. There's 4 of them. It's called Dead Shit, Player We Owned that hurt us the most. We have Moral Victory from our Pommy friends, because we all know they're ultimate winners in the moral victories. Someone that looked good and scored poorly. Gun of the week, player we own that helped us the most, didn't offer a shot. Player we don't own that really, really screwed us over this week. So to start us off, Guns, who's your dead shit of the week, mate?
All right, well, mine's Zach Crawley. I mean, I picked him on 2 batter-friendly decks thinking, he should be able to score 50 at one of these places, particularly Adelaide Oval. Sure enough, what is it, 28 for the double? Yep, that's correct.
But you've got to factor in he did get a catch in there. So yeah, like that just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, so he has been shocking. And the way that he went out, I was kind of happy. I own Crawley, but the way he went out just recently it's always nice to see a Pom get there off stump, get absolutely cartwheeled. I just, it was nice to see. Myth, who's your dead shit of the week, mate?
I can't disagree with that. I'm happy to pile on a Pommy. He was
awful, absolutely
terrible, and unfortunately I can't get rid of him because he's got the double next week.
I know. There's a small part of me that just thinks, like, do they stick with him, or do they just like bring in Eskenazi and just have Eskenazi and Whiteman open? Because it was quoted last game against the Strikers at the halfway mark that the reason Whiteman was in was because they wanted to get some, I guess, game time into their local openers before Crawley actually leaves. So, yeah, that's an interesting quote. Very interesting there. I don't think he's any chance of not playing, but, I mean, I definitely regret picking him. I just thought it'd be both roads and we'd be laughing, but clearly wrong there. Moral victory, looked good, scored poorly. Who's in that category for you, Guns? Who wins that award, mate?
I'll go Nikhil Chowdhury because every time he gets involved in a match, he looks sensational. But he doesn't get involved enough, and I think that pretty much fits the moral victory bill perfectly.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Yep, can't go against that. Myth, who's? Oh, yes.
No, I was just clearing my throat.
No, you're right, mate. Moral victory myth. Who is it, mate?
I'm going to go with Berendorf, I think. I think he bowled quite well at the start of the last game. Not so much this game, but the start of the last game. Probably deserved more than the 1 wicket. It was a peach to bowl Darcy in it. Should have had 1 wicket earlier this game. Not much he can do. He's been the form bowler of the Perth, and when he puts up a stinker on the double, can't do much about it.
No, completely agree. My moral victory, I'm going to go with my captain, Hardy. I know he took a catch last game, but without that, it's been, subpar for a captain. Some of the shots he was playing tonight was wonderful, and then I don't know if he just got scared of Lloyd Pope's ugly mug or what happened, or looked him in the eyes and turned into stone, but that shot to get out to him was disgusting. Andrew's just sent through his dead shit of the week, and this is rough. He's actually gone with Basley, who scored 1 in the first game and has been dropped. So, Andrew definitely knows how to win this comp. He's won it back-to-back, but, Basley's definitely not helping you go back-to-back-to-back. What about gun of the week? I'm just going to jump in there first and go Lance Morris. Like, that wild thing, that crazy bloke, that's fantastic. 5 for literally fuck all, and then another poll tonight. That's 6 in a double, so thank you very much. He's my gun of the week. Guns, who are you thinking, mate? Who's really helped the team out?
Who else but my skipper, your spirit animal, Matthew Short. He's on, 200 for the double so far? Yeah, 220.
That's
got to be
stiff.
him.
Yep. That's shocking. Unlucky.
Couldn't go past him. He bowled, got a wicket, and 25 points for economy. This game absolutely carrying my side right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I was trying to, and probably like a lot of other people, just assume that Perth had just ripped through, but clearly not. I just pictured those big Berendorf in-swing and bananas castling the stumps, and I was like, oh, God, okay. Looked into a few stats, and I favoured Hardy, but I guess stats don't really mean everything, do they? What about you, Myth?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, you're right. I was scared of Hardy this round, I'll be honest. I really was, and I only went Matt Short because he bowls a little bit more than Hardy. It's the only reason behind it.
Yep. No, it's completely valid. Honestly, it is. It really is. I just thought with Rhodes, it wouldn't happen. Myth, who was your gun of the week, I dare say, mate?
Yeah, look, dare say is a good way to put it, because I just had a look at my side, because it's never a good sign when one doesn't come directly to mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably Josh Inglis, in all honesty. And that's what's he put up? 125. He's put up 2 decent knocks at the back, got a few catches last game. He's done his job. But
no, absolutely has. And I always like to think, and I'm sure it's the same with everyone, that basically if a keeper starts well, they always seem to get those little cheap edges, those plus 10 points, or they might even be lucky enough to get those stumpings as well. If Connolly gets a bowl later, or Agar, he bowled absolute tripe the over before, but if he comes back on, there's always a chance. And I think if you've already got those points in the bank, my perception is it's always a little bit easier because you're just watching that score go up. If they've already made a duck and it's not going to happen. Andrew's just put in his gun of the week is Matt Short. That's it. Nothing else, which is wonderful. Our last category before we might get to a few comments if they're appropriate. Can't be saying too much or getting stuck into myself that badly on here. Didn't offer a shot. Player we don't own that bowled us over this week. So basically someone that could be someone that you had in your team, you reverse trades, you took out, just changed things up, or someone that you didn't really consider. Guns, who is it, mate? Who are we looking at?
It's Laurie Evans. Because in the lead up to this round, I've been watching Laurie Evans closely. I've been watching him like a hawk. I was like, he's only this price because the top order's fired, not because he's out of form. That's an opportunity to strike on. So I was like, you know what? I'll bring in Marcus Stoinis. He's a similar price. I'll
Yep.
move these people. I'll move him out of my side. If he fails, if he does well, then I probably can go for a more expensive taste in my double game players this week. And of course, Marcus Stoinis, he got 55 of 19 or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, well, sweet. I'll hold on to him, get a little bit of cash out of him, and I'll go get some better quality scorches. So had Marcus Stoinis failed last round, I would have had Laurie Evans's 140 odd, 100, not 140, it's like 180 now. So I was that close.
Oh goodness, yeah, no,
Yeah.
you really were. I just, I don't know. I just thought the pick is a pick there that people that need in cash they'd need to go there. I looked at him for about 2.5 seconds and thought, nah, just same mindset. Like Perth's top or fire will face 3 balls, you might get 10 off 3, but in Supercoach terms, that literally equates to nothing. We do have Andrew's just sent through that Laurie Evans again didn't offer a shot winner. He basically thought that he bats too low to be worth it. He went Whiteman as the cheapie instead because he opened. And in the first game, that looked unreal. But I guess when you're facing someone that can bowl like primarily first up on a road, then you're in trouble, aren't you, when you're trying to just do that little lap sweep, which I think he's fairly good at. So it's not really foreign to him, but clearly the spitting cobra that Matty King short bowl just bamboozled him there. Myth, player that we don't own the bowled us over.
I'm probably going to go a little bit differently here.
Yeah.
It's Cooper Connolly. And
really? Okay.
More so because him getting named at 6 just set off a chain of events in my side that ended up him being boosted out to Zach Crawley and losing Maxwell and keeping Sutherland. So I'll now need to use a trade to get Maxwell back in. Just trying to really hit with a few of these more expensive scorches, take advantage of my team value, which was pretty good heading into this round, being able to have Dorf, have Crawley over Whiteman, make those decisions. But that Cooper Connolly being named at 6, didn't want a bar of him on the double, not him, couldn't go with him and Darcy, so decided to boost him out. And just set off a chain of events on my side that hurt it for the round and hurt a little bit moving forward.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to get to. Did we have to trade out any of those, I guess, extremely high-priced gun all-rounders that we talk about? Did we have to trade out a Sam's or a Maxi, or do we have to trade out a short next week to get, say, I don't know, a Bartlett or an Overton just because our finances and funds aren't there? Guns, were you able to keep a Sam's and Maxi on the pine, or what happened in your trade plans, mate?
So I had to sell Daniel Sams. I tried to find ways not to, and it didn't really work out. So that my thinking was behind him selling Daniel Sams was that, well, David Warner's going to come back into this side, presumably the next game that Thunder play, and they're unlikely to drop any batsmen because they're like Daniel Sams is at 6, and then they've got nothing behind him really. So I concluded
completely agree.
Sam's at 7 is not as good as Sam's at 6, as well, and his bowling roll's been all over the place. He's been bowling 2 overs, he's been bowling in the middle, bowled at death, and then he opened the bowling the other game. So I was like, I could probably use those funds elsewhere and capitalise on Tor Paul in a couple of rounds' time.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I just think if you are able to obviously keep those gun all-rounders on your bench, you're in much better stead for the weeks coming. Because as we've seen, like if you can take it this week, for example, I'm sure there's been a single game week player that's outscored a double game week player this week. And it always happens. Sometimes you're just lucky enough to have, in a head-to-head, someone else might have 3 more doublers than you, and you just might have those 3 gun single game week players that they don't, and you crush them. I mean, it's obviously very hindsight-ish, but it's very hard to get right. Myth, did you did you manage to keep the elite tier all rounders, or were you forced to trade them out?
No, I flipped them. I flipped a few. I flipped them over to get those high price scorchers in. Original plan was holding Maxwell, and up until those final team lists, he was there. But in order to get those extra funds, and after my E's also failed with Bartlett in the first game not scoring enough, if I could have taken that score, then I think I probably would have ended up holding Maxwell. But the round just didn't go that way. Adapted to the round, didn't pay off. But I've looked at my side. I've got a way to get Max in next week, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I just always thought, and I think this is, I guess, in relation back to AFL Supercoach, if you have a premium that's not playing, say, 1 week, you try and build around them, and that's what I've tried to do this season. And so I've still got Maxi and Sam's on the bench, and I think I'll just be trying to get some, I guess, if I can get to a Bartlett, I'll definitely be flipping Overton to Tall Paul. But it is nice to have those, I guess, well, they're high priced for a reason. They've clearly dominated. They've put in great shift, got some real nice Supercoach points, and it's done well. All right, Andrew's back. Do we have...
It's suddenly cleared up in the last 10 seconds. I don't know what's going on here, but the internet's stopped.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Maybe, I don't know, maybe someone at Telstra or whoever's with your internet provider doesn't want you to win this year. I'm not too sure.
I'm in a bit of a tourist area. I live in a bit of a tourist area, and I think Friday night, all the campers around here have rocked up and they're killing the mobile tower.
Maybe they're stealing your Wi-Fi, mate. Who knows? See what's going on out the back. Yeah. I was going to say,
but it's gone good.
Didn't offer a shot. Who's the player that you don't own that bowled you over this week?
Laurie Evans is the one
that you said. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even consider him. Morris is the other one because I was and ahhing over him, and I was so worried about the rest that I decided not to in the end. And when Baisley goes and scores me 1 and doesn't play the second game, it just hurts even more.
Yeah, no, that's rough. Completely understand that. We also, I'm not too sure if you heard through the audio, we were talking about just having a conversation if we could keep those, I guess, top tier all rounders. So the Sams and the Maxis and the likes. Were you able to do that, or did you have to, I guess, use their capital to force more funds elsewhere?
Yeah, so I traded Sams this week, kept Maxwell. The way I split that, I had to get rid of one of them. Maxwell plays first next round, so he's a good loop off the bench as emergency before any of the doubles play. So I figure I'll keep Maxwell, and but I'm going to try and get Sams back in next week if I can, particularly if Maxwell fails. He'll be my sort of backup for Maxwell. It's a tough one. One of my issues this year compared to previous years, I'm really struggling for cash. So it's sort of you like to think as the season goes on, you can keep them.
Yeah,
it's due to just circumstance. I think there were teams on buys. We had games that were washed out or low scoring or didn't go ahead, and so cash generation's been a bit tougher than usual. I usually have a goal of about 2.5 million in 5 rounds, and I'm sitting barely at 2.3. I think 200,000 behind where I want to be. So 200,000. That's a good play.
Yeah, no, I think my team value is a little bit higher, and that's why I was able to keep, I guess, Maxwell, Sams, and obviously have those 9.5 doublers, I should say, including Cooper Connolly. But it's just interesting. Like, speaking to a lot of people, they definitely were against trading Maxi out because we all know what he can do. But then it kind of got closer to it, and then they were like, I need the funds just so I can bring in. For instance, I need to get the Hardys in. I need to get the Richos in. Berendorf is 200k plus. Like, it's a lot of coin to bring in just for 3 players. So, I guess cuts needed to be made in places, didn't they?
You can't have everyone. It's just
no.
Run with it.
That's why we, I guess, like to have didn't offer a shot, because I know obviously majority said Laurie Evans, but sometimes it is that higher price player and you can't actually, I guess, facilitate the funds for them, which is, a little bit annoying. Gonna move to the comments here. Now, I know that you four can see the comments. I'm not going to read out every single one of them, just in case. We won't read the first one. Corey, biggest power play for the season. We love that, mate. Unfortunately, didn't see Matt Short. Strikers are looking sensational tonight. How do we donate to get my hat off? She's a bit rough, actually. We did take the kids swimming, and that's right. So I'm not bald, if that's what you were thinking. Not yet. But I did see that came from the Surf 420. What I will say to the Surf 420 is it's definitely not like someone called our favourite South Australian friend. I have more hair than him. He'll know what I mean by that. Plowboy. Scopes, you picked Laurie Evans by watching his only previous innings, knowing his history and revel in his price. Well, that's understandable. I mean, you definitely did more research than I. If you picked him, good on you. That's amazing. Did anyone here pick Laurie Evans? I'm assuming not. No. Well, there you go. Maybe we're not as switched on as you, Plowboy.
I'm curious. I'm curious just on that, Scopes, how many times the back-to-back champs gone for a bat-only guy at number 5 when there's a good top order?
Yeah, actually, Andrew, do you want to answer that one, mate? 0. Perfect.
Yeah, 0. Wow. Yeah, might have done it once going for a desperate pod play, but no, it does. Yeah. It pays off less often than it.
No, there we go. Plowboy again. I love these comments, though. Honestly, it's good discussion. Scopes, look at Sutherland's career BBL history. Nothing above 92 until round 1. Yeah, but you've got to look at the role. Roles change. Things change. You can't just have things set in concrete. Like, in relation to other sports, what about those players that have the breakout years? The ones that have a role change to half back and they just get seagulled the ball? Like, what happens with that? What happens if you've got, I guess, Sutherland, for example, that has been good for state cricket for Victoria, and he is the captain now, and he's getting his 4 overs. He might not be batting where we want, but you can't just have these ideas set in stone. I think that's a very closed-minded way to view things. We have another one. Surely Maddo comes back in. Maddo is not worth the discussion. If you have picked Maddo to start with, then my goodness, I don't know what you're doing. The only thing that's good about him is just knowing that your own head isn't as rough as his. That's about it. The Surf 420, he said, Sutherland, my dead shit of the week. McGurk not far behind. Had to field a couple of potatoes, though. And we've all been there. Absolutely, we've been there. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you think a player's going to fire. They've got the matchup. They've got the role, and it just doesn't work. I mean, and I hate to point this out, Andrew. I hate to point it out, mate. But, Basley, 1 point in a double game week. No one predicted that. So you can put Basley in that potato section, but I definitely wouldn't have thought it'd be 1 point for a double. Yeah,
and look, he's a classic example. He wasn't in great form, but he kind of has the role. He was batting 6 or 7 and you get a few overs, but just wasn't to be. And look, his first over the other night was great. I think he only went for 5 or 6 runs. It was his next 2 overs where
he went for about 50 odd. Yes. So, and it's so volatile, this game. Like, one captaincy decision can be the difference between you going up 300 spots in rankings or going down 400 spots in rankings. It's just so condensed. King Shorty, we knew that. Agar, please retire. I have a feeling that if anyone has Ashton Agar, he is a huge chance to either be left out or just completely dropped for Hamish McKenzie. Just don't. I have never been a fan of Agar. I have no idea what he brings to that Scorchers team besides someone that waltzes in, bowls left arm fairy bread and tries to whack a ball that doesn't. Does anyone here own Agar? Oh, gee, John. Jesus. Probably should have asked that
I told him
before
around.
sold him
I
down the
told
drain.
you earlier.
Why?
Matty
Why?
Short is holding my team together this week on his own.
What? Did you bring him in this week?
No, I bought him in last week, and there was a bit of a reason behind why I did it. It was when he had the dual position, he's batting sort of lower middle order, and he's getting his 3 or 4 overs. I was worried about the Scorchers team, and I didn't want to go early on their quick bowlers in case someone didn't get named last game. I was worried about which turned out to be a non-event, but I was worried about the game against the West Indies, the representative side, and I didn't know who was going to get called out for that. So I didn't go Inglis for that reason, but it turned out sometimes you overthink things, and there's nothing. I worried about nothing.
I overthought my captaincy call, and it's going to cost me an absolute bucket load of points. I think sometimes as you said, overthinking can be very simple, but once you do it and you start getting into that loop of hang on, I might be a little bit smarter than the rest of the room. Sometimes that really bites you in the ass. We have a question for Myth, actually. It's not SuperCoach related, but
here we go.
He wants to know, why is that shelf looking both empty and crooked?
Is it? Yeah, they're definitely empty.
Empty? I don't think they're crooked though. I think it's just
crooked.
the way
I think they're pretty good. Just the way they are, the way it's looking. But just I'm a man of very little material needs, so nothing going up there.
Is there anything else? No, we can't say that on here. No, nones. No. Jesus Christ.
Not getting much there, mate.
Oh.
Not getting much there at all.
No. Okay. Yep. No, we're definitely not going there. But thank you, gentlemen. Oh, I don't want to assume genders, but thank you very much. Strategy chat. Who are we looking to bring in for next week? Guns, what are you thinking, mate? Are we going Hobart? Because we're all decked out with Scorchers. Are you going any Heat players as well, mate? What's the theory so far?
So I wrote an article for Honeyball today, basically saying I'm not looking anywhere near the Hobart Hurricanes if I can avoid it. I don't think there's anything there that's standing out to me. No one's performing well. Very little SuperCoach points there. Like, they're taking 4 wickets a game. And in terms of run scoring, they're sharing it around. Like, it's going to be hard to predict. If I was to pick one, I'd probably go Ben McDermott, then Sam Hain. And that's purely because they're budget options who are just as likely to fire as the rest of them. But the fact that Matthew Wade isn't in that lineup and he's going to come back in, whether it's the first game of this double or the second game in this double, it's going to cause a lot of headaches for that lineup. So I'm going to stay away for now. And I'm looking towards Paul Walter, Nathan McSweeney for a batter. And if I can afford Xavier Bartlett, I will. Otherwise, I'll probably look towards Lance Morris.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Very nice, mate. Very nice. And will that leave you, I assume, 11 doublers? Is that correct?
Only 10. So I wish it could have been 11, but it didn't pan out that way in the end.
No, completely understood. Andrew, how are you looking for next week? Next round, mate. What's the strategy? Because I see you're top 100 at the moment, coming home really strong.
Yeah, so the plan next week, I was going to have, I think, about 9 doublers before trades, but a few of those doublers are a worry. So plan next week's to get, trade Basley as soon as it opens. But
or Agar as well.
Agar probably. I think I want to make my decision after the first game. I've got Maxwell and Stoinis, so I want to pop them both on the bench. I just want to see how they both go, and that will determine my trades. And I then have to debate whether I bring in a doubler or whether I get Sam's back in as soon as possible to replace one of them. If I need a donut to get one of those scores. I've got half an eye on Warner.
Yes.
Go early on him to get the no play. I'm, like Nathan, I don't love the Hurricanes. I've got McDermott and I've got Ellis, and I think that's enough.
What's just happened, Guns? Sorry.
Chris Lynn hit one halfway up the second deck at Adelaide Oval. Sorry.
Goodness. Hope that was off Berendorf, just quiet.
It was off Lance Morris.
Yeah, that'd be right. Wonderful.
And I'll probably look at one of the heat batters. I actually don't mind getting one or two heat in. They got the bye in the last round. I know some people don't like the thought of them having the bye in the last round, but I think having those donut players might be handy. Because who knows? Last round, I might be doing a Hail Mary trying to catch up or defend something. Who knows? And I think if we've got a bit of flexibility to do that, that'll help. So the Brisbane players, I really like McSweeney. I'm a fan, but you've got some good batters there. The two openers could score anything.
Absolutely. I mean, speaking about the openers, it seems as like just watching, I guess, his limited innings, Josh Brown has really, matured, I will say. And maybe that's to his detriment, because obviously he's still trying to get along with it. But I've seen innings where he's really chewed up a lot of balls in that power play, and it really mucks around with Munro's form and I guess consistency. And if you've got Brown facing 9 or 10 of those balls and not getting the runs, Munro's only got 2 or 3 to go. So it's an interesting, I guess, debate there. But looking. I myself would love a Brisbane bowler rather than batsman, just to I guess sit on the fence a little. I haven't really made my mind up there.
Gabba gets some big scores though.
They do. It's maybe it's just a Munro paradise, and he just absolutely pops, and that's wonderful. But McSweeney is. If we're not talking about SuperCoach for a moment, some of the shots he plays are absolutely glorious. Just that full face of the bat, it's wonderful to see. But I think, a lot of
in the country.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agreed. Myth, who are you looking towards, mate? What's your strategy moving into, I guess, the later parts of this edition of SuperCoach?
Well, I've kind of looked at the last few rounds. After next round, we've got a single game week and then Thunder on the double.
Yeah,
the Thunder don't really have a whole lot of expensive players, so I'm actually going to probably cut my squad size down a little bit. Whether or not that's a good call or not, remains to be seen. But at the moment, I'm going to get Maxi back. I need Tall Paul. I've already got Xavier Bartlett, so I'm happy just with those 2 heat boys, along with the 6 Scorchers, and I've got McDermott and Chowdhury. So then the last trade's probably going to be for a very cheap guy, potentially enough. Potentially, if it's on the right line, maybe even the bloke that debuted for the Renegades the other night, Fergus O'Neill, playing the last game of the last 2 rounds. If I've got him as a last resort kind of player, if all of my loops have failed and I need another guy on field, he should be around 50, 55K. So just having that guy there, I'm hoping that I don't have to play, but allows me to have more value tied up in the guys that are more likely to be on my field, is probably where I'm looking at the moment. But if I have to live on the bat line, that's where it could be a bit more problematic. So I'm going to debate who sits on my E out of, I think, Maxi, Stoinis and Chowdhury. 2 out of those 3 will sit there. I'm not sure which 2 yet.
No, there is nothing to, I guess, fault that theory. Well, I think I'm in a similar boat actually, because I don't know how, but for next week I'm looking pretty good. I've got 2 Hurricanes and 7 Scorchers, but as I said before, 1 Hurricane is Chowdhury, the other is McDermott, one of the Scorchers is Connolly. So if we're looking at 9, I'll probably take that back down to 7.5, maybe, if that. But I've got Sams and Maxi on the bench. Obviously, Matt Short's still in the side. I'm definitely looking at, say, an Overton out to a tall Paul. See what else I could, I guess, conjure up. But it would be nice, or if Maxi does pop that first round, as Andrew said and yourself alluded to, having that non-playing player come in, grab that score, and then maybe beef up somewhere else. Because I don't know if I'll have the funds to work it because I've kept those the Sams and the Maxi types. If I bring in a tall Paul, bring in enough, maybe then have enough for Bartlett as well. I'm not too sure how that's going to eventuate. And then obviously you can swap it around and change players from obviously bats to bowls, but then sometimes it just doesn't go right, and then your loops start to look a little bit awkward. So yeah, I really want to be trading out Darcy Short, Tall Paul, and I'm not too sure on the last one. Overton for Tall Paul. I'm not too sure on the last one yet. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not too sure if I just definitely want a non-playing player just yet. I do have a question for you, Andrew. Is David Warner meant to be here for the double? Do you know?
I have the understanding he might play their last 3 games.
Okay, that would be nice. I know it's probably on Honeyball's availability calendar, but I don't have that up right at the moment.
And I could be completely off the mark, but I think I
Yep.
heard somewhere that he was going to be back for those sort of rounds 8 and 9.
Well, that would be. I mean, if Maxi pops, why wouldn't you bring in a Warner?
Yeah,
I mean, that just makes a little bit of sense there. This isn't SuperCoach related, but Corey's just sent in. I assume we've all heard the news about poor Sammy Harper.
yes.
Yeah, so obviously he couldn't buy a run in the BBL, but you never want to see someone, especially someone that's gone through what he's gone through with all the head knocks previously, similar to Bukowski. But he obviously got hit today. Corey wants to know, who do you reckon replaces Harper? Stars have no wicketkeeper. I mean, who are we thinking? Like, because couldn't Hilton Cartwright do it or Dan Lawrence?
No.
I mean,
they'll probably sign a local replacement player. He's played a few games for the Renegades, but Braden Stepien,
yes.
He'll come in, 42 or 62 and a half. Been in pretty decent form in grade cricket. I had a look at this afternoon because I pondered that myself. Who replaces Sam Harper? But Stepien would be the guy that'd come in. I would have thought, nice and cheap, short notice.
He literally lives not even 10 k's down the road from me. So yes, and he's a wonderful bloke. I know that doesn't translate to cricket runs or SuperCoach scores, but he's a good bloke. He's a very good bloke. Andrew, did you have any theories on that, or?
I've got no idea. I wouldn't be surprised to see Maxwell try and take the gloves for 16 overs if he doesn't bowl.
Yeah, well, I mean, the man seems to be able to do everything, doesn't he? Even, falling off the back of, I guess, golf carts and still being able to whip balls for 6. That's just insane. Insane. Myth, do you have any thoughts on that, mate? I mean, it's not really SuperCoach relevant, but I just thought, Harper, there's been a lot of hate towards him in SuperCoach terms, but you never want to see this happen to anyone.
No, and last update I read that he was conscious and breathing, so that's really good to see, and just hope the guy's all right. Like you said, don't want to see that happen to any of these blokes in any professional sport or any of the women in professional sport, or even amateur, all sport really. Never like to see people get injured. So someone in the comments, the Sir 420, is Peter Hanscom still alive? Maybe Peter Hanscom comes in and could take the gloves as a local.
Peter Hampskin wouldn't know which end of the stick to hold. He is a complete and utter has-been.
He's unavailable. No. He's in the PM's 11 against the West Indies. So, but I'm sure they would have asked. They definitely would have asked him, but I don't think he'll be able to play.
I mean,
do you want him to play even? Yeah.
And again, sorry, Andrew, he's like an Agar. He makes your team worse. Okay, and I know that's just a cheap dig, and I'm sorry, mate, but at least you did bring him in before this round. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. We do have a comment from Plough. Jeez, Plough boy, he's getting into it tonight. Yes, Scobes, McSween, and I assume Mac Wright are the two most consistent Shield batsmen right now. And I completely agree. I mean, I know it's, again, well, it's kind of SuperCoach relevant because Mac Wright would be an amazing pod coming up next week. But I don't, it's just hard. Like, could they drop Mac Wright for Matty Wade? Like, that would be harsh, real harsh. But then again, I think if Sam Hain has done his hamstring, he's probably the one that's out. Right, and then Wade just slots back in. But like the commentary regarding Wade about how he had those back spasms, like you can't touch him, surely.
No.
You don't know when he's going to be out. Like, honestly, I don't think there's any Hurricanes batsman that you're going to want. You might want an Ellis. You might want a Jordan. I guess Jordan is a DPP player, but that's just assuming everyone's got McDermott. I don't think he'd go anywhere else. The Sir says, for that reason alone, Scobes, he'd be a great fit for the Gades. Yeah, well, that's true. He would be for the Gades. But obviously, yeah, I think that's a low blow. I think you're grazing your knuckles there with that punch on the ground. Yeah. We'll move on from those comments. Who are we thinking we're going to VC? And I know in the past we've had some guests that just straight out C. That's not the way that I like to play it, but some do. Who are we thinking on the C and VC choices, gentlemen? Who are you thinking, Guns? Are you the type to just go straight out C, or surely you like to go VC?
No, I'll probably go the VC on Paul Walter. Plays before who my captain will be, and that's Aaron Hardy. Didn't fire this round, so probably fires next round is my thinking. But I'll take probably 50 from Paul Walter, and not 50. No, I'd take 70 or 80 from Paul, and I'll double it.
No, I've been had this conversation earlier, especially when Maxi was on the double, and when I think it was Maxwell on the double, and it was the Renegades in the double, and I was talking about a 60 or 70. You'd have to, I'd be tempted to pass that up, but I think now you just have to take it because we've seen how many times is a captaincy option is just very. I guess it goes wrong, and then you go to the C option, and it just goes even worse. I think I've been in that situation a couple of times. Global, we'll get to your question just after this. We won't go pod options just yet. But Andrew, who are you thinking for the C and VC choice next week, mate?
It'll depend how I'm sitting. The obvious choice for me is Walter into Hardy.
Yep.
But given how my round's going this round, I might go a little bit more out there with the VC with a nothing to lose and might look at one of those Brisbane batters.
So would that be, I dare say, Munro, Brown, McSweeney?
Yeah, and my decision will be based on how it looks, who's trading who in and ownership numbers, and I might go for the lower owned one and take a VC punt.
So just purely on ownership statistics rather than
if I end up going with one of the batters, because I think any of those top three could go off, but two of the three could absolutely get nothing. So completely
understandable. Yeah, and I mean sometimes it really works. I mean, I know a few people have gone Overton this week over Matt Short, over Jai Richardson, over Hardy as well. And I mean, that hasn't been too bad. It really hasn't. Myth, who are you thinking for your C and VC choices, mate?
I will definitely be taking a swing at VC. I'm expecting a steep decline after this week, so I won't be going with the brand with Walter, at least not for VC.
Probably will you be going Bartlett? Yes, I know he's your man. I know you love him. You've been on him for a while.
And he's really, at the moment, he's bowling those good overs. He's getting the first surge over the last few rounds. He's usually getting one at the end as well. Sometimes it's shifting a little bit between him, Johnson, and Walter seemed to lose one over. One of them seems to be losing it. Don't know what's happening with Nisa, but that's been consistent enough for a few rounds that no reason to think that won't continue. So
I reckon he's injured, honestly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or is it possible that he's not preferred at the death compared to the other three? I'm not sure, but
yeah. I don't know how you just go from being the man for so long to just straight out the window in a matter of games. Like, there wasn't even a phasing out period. It's just instantly happened.
Yeah, it's been since Munro took over the captaincy. So I don't know what's
which makes me think, like, is there an injury going on there? I'm not. Not too sure on that.
There has to be more to it, surely.
You would
he
think
pulled
so.
out of the Prime Minister's 11, and then he's played every game, but he's hardly bowled. So there's something.
There's something going on. 100%. It just seems, a little bit. They're not saying everything that's going on.
Tell you what, not bowling, but he's been electric in the field, catching anything that goes near him, run-outs. It's a really strange thing, but whatever they're doing, if it's managing him, if it's keeping him up front, I would thought if he's bowling up front, they'd almost just bowl him out if that's what they want to do, though. There was
one game he rolled out a maiden and then went for barely anything the second over, and that was it.
Didn't bowl again.
which is crazy for me, because when you think about Brisbane Heat and they're on the double, would you not want Michael Nisa? And right now, the answer is no, isn't it?
Nah, you can't go near him.
No. And for 160k, like, where else could you go? You could, McSweeney and change, Munro and change. I don't know their prices off the top of my head. You chuck another 40k on top of that, you've got Bartlett. Chuck another 20k on top of that, you've got Tall Paul. It's just, you're not really. I don't really think he's an option, actually. My C and VC it will really depend on if I climb ranks after this week's score or drop ranks. If I drop ranks, I could easily see myself going a Bartlett into, say, a Lance Morris, honestly. Just because of the feel-good feeling that I had him this week, and no doubt he'll shit the bed next week and I'll be dirty on him. But I think we know that's how this game always goes. But if it goes well tonight, it'll probably be Tall Paul into Hardy. I think Hardy, as I said, Hardy's looked really good. It just hasn't equated to monster SuperCoach scores. I don't know if the captaincy's just hindering him a little bit and he's got too much on his mind rather than just to be, as they say, free-minded to do and just play cricket rather than thinking about things. But that will be where I'll be going. Got a question from Global. One pod pick from each team. I assume that's each team on the double next week. So that's how we're going to interpret it. Guns, you're up first, mate. One pod pick next week. And it doesn't have to be under a specific percentage or whatever. Just whatever you deem as a pod, mate.
Yeah, okay. Off the top of my head, I don't reckon people trade in Lance Morris for the money he'll be worth. I think
he's going to be 200 plus, which is handy for those that do have him.
Yeah, no. So what do you have? He was 160k, 93 break even, and got 164. So he'll be like, that 180, 190. I don't think anyone's paying up for that when you can get Bartlett and Paul Walter, who, they both play the double, but like, particularly Paul Walter, doing bat and bowling twice in this round. So he will be a more he won't be traded in by as many. For the Hurricanes, I'd go Riley Meredith if you wanted a pod. I think he's due a bag of wickets. He's looked good, but particularly with the new ball. But yeah, I think Riley Meredith. I think he could be someone that takes 3 wickets in both these games. And then finally, from the Brisbane Heat, I like Matty Kuhnemann as my pod.
Yes.
I think he's flown under the radar a lot this season. And when people are flocking to, say, a Colin Munro, who's another popular Brisbane Heat player, he's only averaged 21 and a half since he got that 99 in the first game. So he's really dried up in the SuperCoach scoring. But you can look at Matt Kuhneman. He's always scoring 50 to 60. And I reckon, he'll punch out an easy 100 to 120 on a double and just safeguard your team. That's someone I'll be looking at myself personally.
Yeah, no, there is nothing there that I disagree with, mate. Very well done. Andrew, what are your thoughts, mate? One pod pick from each team on the double.
Right. Well, the Scorchers are hard because everyone's got them.
Yep.
Everyone's loaded up on them. I really don't know who I'd pick from the Scorchers. They're just so bloody good, all of them. Maybe if they bring a bowler in, if they rest one of the bowlers, whoever comes in, maybe that's the pod pick, and he gets both games.
Maybe a
Kelly
Hamish McKenzie type operator.
I don't know. Kelly gets named. Maybe just go for him and hope for the best. They're so good that the poorest bowler in the side can benefit from having so many good bowlers around him, because that's who the teams will target. I agree with Meredith for the Hurricanes. I think, he's a gun bowler. He's more than capable of doing the job. And Brisbane, I would go pod. I reckon big Josh Brown.
Yeah.
2 games.
Yep.
He's getting 2 bites at the cherry to absolutely rip it up for a couple of quick 20s. Hopefully hit 50 in one of them.
The only way I would ever have Josh Brown in my team is if I'm looping him.
Yeah. For sure.
It'd have to be a loop. I wouldn't be playing him on field. But as I said, it's pod pick.
Depends how desperate we are.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Myth, who are your 3, mate?
I think Andrew's really nailed the Scorchers there. They're kind of all pretty highly owned at the moment. I wouldn't really, even though Laurie Evans has killed it, it's still batting 5. I'm still not going there. Yeah, I would hope for regression a little bit. Whoever comes in, if Hamish McKenzie comes in, if they look, Sydney Showgrounds might be the only bowler-friendly wicket left in the competition. So whoever that bowler is that comes in might be the play.
Yes.
On that note, Hurricanes, Gabba, and then Adelaide Oval. I like Caleb Jewell. Opening, can score quickly. He's the type of guy that could quite easily just put up to 30s in 20 balls and get that maximum strike rate bonus pretty quickly. Could go off on one of them. Batting deck. Heat, look, I've been on him all year. I think Bartlett, if you can afford him, I think his price is going to keep the ownership relatively far down. So I think that's where I would be looking.
Yeah, and once again, I completely agree. I've just noticed that Matt Short has guided the Strikers to a 9-wicket win over the Scorchers, and the Scorchers only took 1 wicket. So everything that I spoke about at the start of the pod about how they're going to rip through the Strikers, again, hindsight, completely wrong. I'll make this very quick. My pod picks from each team, my pick would be from Scorchers, definitely Lance Morris, because I don't think he's going to get a rest. From the Hurricanes, it's Paddy Dooley. I just think if he gets one pitch that's going to assist him, he is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I know he just bowled against the Gades, and they're deplorable, but he looked fantastic. And Brisbane, it's going to be Xavier Bartlett. I mean, I love the way that man bowls. Very dirty on him the year that he used to just bowl 2 up front and then he gets subbed out for the rest of the game. That was shocking. But he's definitely my pod pick. A collective question. If you only have 3 or 4 Scorchers, can you bring another one in next week? Would you do that? Myth, just straight up, yes? Yep.
Yeah.
Guns, what do you reckon?
Yep.
Andrew, yes?
Yeah, I'd even swap one of my lower Scorchers to a better one if it could improve my team.
That's exactly what I'm contemplating. A Connolly out to maybe another double game week player. I'm not too sure who, but if funds work, that's exactly what will be happening because I don't like a bloke batting at 6 and not bowling. Choose one to keep out of... Don't worry about funds.
Don't worry about funds. Don't worry about funds. What's Matty Short going to be worth after tonight?
Just on the down low, 315k. And he's probably
with a low break even.
Yeah, and he's probably honestly he's probably about 170k underpriced still. Like, let's be honest. I mean, come on. Choose one to keep out of short and Overton. Who are we going, Guns? You got to trade one. Who is it?
Assuming it's Matthew Short, I'm holding Matthew Short. I'll sell Overton every day of the week and twice on Sunday. No, he can go. Sod off.
Andrew, who's leaving?
Overton leaves. Short's got the best role in BBL. Opening, he's bowling regularly.
Absolutely. I mean, Myth, what do you think, mate?
I'm not sure I ever want to watch a game with Matt Short in it that I don't have the VC or C on him ever again, to be honest. So he's got to stay. Overton will go. I'm interested to see. Obviously, won't captain him next week, but thankfully no one will with the other teams on the double. But he's just awful to watch when you're going against him.
Yep, no, I completely agree. And I just want to say, I know everybody has lapses in their judgment at times, and we're not all perfect. And that was myself in not seeing Matty Short. But as the president of the Matt Short fan club, I can honestly and honourably say that I will never, ever be such a dickhead ever again to not see or VC that great man, because he is absolutely perfection in this. Corey has said he will be 400k before round 9 at this rate. Matty Short, absolutely. And I think Guns captain Short, Andrew captain Short, Myth didn't, and myself, we didn't. But the round's been completed, so we might as well just go through and see what we scored.
Oh, dear.
That might not be good. Well, Andrew's won this thing twice now, so he can kick us off. What did you score, mate?
1,047, looks like.
1,047. I'd say that's still pretty high, though.
Yeah, I'm just looking through some of my leagues.
I would assume so.
That's right. I can see a 14-14.
Oh, holy
Jesus
crap.
Christ. That's...
no.
That's monstrous.
Biggest so far. Yeah, a few in the 1300s.
Oh, my goodness. The Sir 420 says he's got a 1135, and he actually does, because I'm in a league with him. But, yeah, I mean, and he's even got Jack Edwards there. He's still got Philippi. He's got Will Sutherland. Oh, jeez, he needs to make that trade real quick. Yeah. What about yourself, Guns? What did you score, mate?
Chipped my way over to 1,015. I'll take it, considering I had pure crap for most of my double players. I think outside of Matthew Short, yeah, that's correct. Outside of Matthew Short, I had no one score above 100 points this round. So to get to 1,015 was reliant on the 528 points from Matthew Short. Yeah, I won 5 of 8 leagues this round. I've seen a few scores around that 1,100, a couple of scores around that 1,100, but I'd say, if you got to 4 digits, you had a pretty decent round.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Myth, who did you go, mate?
Oh, not a good round for me. 908.
No. Say that again, sorry.
908. So,
oh goodness,
from the 300s, I might be looking like 4 digits, as Nathan just said. 4-digit rank after this round, it could be. But the beauty of BBL, I guess, is next round starts tomorrow, so we pick ourselves back up and we get going again.
We go again. I scored a tick under 1-1, so I scored 1,097, but surprisingly only won 8 leagues. So I've clearly been absolutely slaughtered in the other 2. But literally, in all seriousness, that's only because of Lance Morris. That's really it. I definitely would have shut the bed without him. And once again, not captaining Matt Short. I mean, how only 50% of us on tonight did it. So I think the other 50%, myself and Myth, we need to have a long, hard look at ourselves.
I can tell you something. If you want to feel better, I'm just looking at the game day. That 14-14 score fielded Will Sutherland. And looks like he chose not to take Connolly, so he gave up 48 to take the set 25, and he still went over 1400.
Wow, that's a big score. That's huge.
Moving score.
Did he have Laurie Evans and Lance Morris?
Yep. Short, Evans, Chris Lynn, Inglis.
Yep.
All the big ones.
Just
unlucky.
Right.
Yeah. And they're the type of weeks that you only need one of them. And Andrew, I'm sure you can speak definitely from a more, I guess, credentialed area than myself. You need one big week, and that just absolutely catapults you up the ranks. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I'm just having a look at the league to see where he was leagued into it. Where are you? See, he was ranked 3,500, so he needed the big round.
3,500. That'll probably put him inside. Oh, who knows? I don't know.
Easy.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Probably. No, it's been wonderful. Thank you, firstly, to Guns for filling in for Daz tonight, who unfortunately couldn't make it due to various reasons. But thank you so much, Guns. As everybody that listens and watches knows, you'll be on tomorrow morning, which it always goes well, mate. You do a fantastic job, and the guests on there, they're wonderful as well. And thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much for coming on and spending your time with us. Hopefully you enjoy trading out Agar and Basley as much as more than you did trading them in, mate.
I hope so too, and I'm glad the second half worked for me because the first half, the internet was really annoying.
Yeah, no, I mean, as I said to you, mate, we'll just keep going on. And Myth, thank you once again. I know you missed last week's one, but thank you so much for being here. Same as always, everyone knows, just like and subscribe. We're available on YouTube and Spotify. Join the SuperCoach Hub on Discord for continual SuperCoach discussion and news. And Linktree's in the bio. But if you want to have a discussion on X, even if it's a heated discussion, if you think something that we've said tonight is just completely and absolutely incorrect, don't be afraid to chirp out an opinion, because it's always good to just converse regarding these type of things. Because an opinion's an opinion. It's like an asshole. Everyone's got one. But just make sure, let's do it properly, because it's always nice to actually have a respectful chat about these things. So find me on X at ScobyBryant36. At me, slide into the DMs, whatever you need to do. Guns, where can anyone find you, mate?
On Instagram, it's at supercoach.bbl.guns. Twitter, it's just SuperCoach Guns. Business as usual. Keep posting throughout the season, and we're gearing up for the winter codes pretty soon.
Absolutely. Andrew, where can the listeners find you, mate?
I'm on Twitter. Diabolical Angle is the handle. Most of my chats, I'm on a website called SuperCoach Scores, so quick shout out to those guys. Great bunch there.
Wonderful. Myth, what about yourself, mate?
Yeah, you'll usually catch me just bumming around the Discords. I'm on that forum as well that Andrew's just mentioned. But yeah, I'm usually pretty active on the SC Hub Discord and a couple of the others. And yeah, like Nathan said, gearing up for some of the winter codes as well.
No, that's wonderful. Once again, thank you, everyone that's dropped in here. Apologies we couldn't read out some of the comments just because, well, Jesus Christ, they should be kept private. There's a few there that are a bit wild. Thank you to everyone that popped in there. Shout out Henriquez. He's done a fair, decent job of captaining the Sixers 100 times, but let's be honest, they're from Sydney, so we don't like them anyway. But yeah, that's us for tonight. So thank you so much again, everyone, and thank you for joining in. Like and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube and Spotify. And thank you once again. Have a great night, guys.